Hello, friend. This is Josh, and welcome to the You Are Your Focus podcast. You Are Your Focus is dedicated to helping friends find their focus, and more importantly, understand that focus on yourself is a necessity. Each episode, we come together to share ideas, solutions, hacks, and encouraging words to find the best action to take to make a change in your life and achieve your goals, whether if it's by finally starting your business or finding more you time throughout the day. Thanks again for tuning in. Let's go! Hello and welcome to another episode of the You Are Your Focus podcast. Thanks again for tuning back in. Glad to see you. And I think now we'll talk about what the heck was that first one about. So if you didn't catch the origin story, I encourage you to go back and listen to that one. That one kind of tells, basically the reason, why I'm on, or why you're listening to my voice right now. What it does do, though, is, it was written out and there was a kind of a follow along that I had prepared for that. And while I liked that, it left it to be more or less a non-conversational sounding piece. It sounded too cold. Not cold per se, but it didn't have like the natural flow of a normal conversation. And what I want from this is for this to be a chill, relaxing environment, but feel like I'm actually like talking to you guys or everyone. So what I plan on doing now is have less of that and more free flow like this. And what that's going to mean is, as you can easily tell, and again, this is episode 2, is that, I'm not a polished speaker. Formulating thoughts and finish them in this format is, more straining, but that should improve over time. What I want to see, this is a journey, and episodes later when all of that is been, more comfortable and more flowing, that you can kind of, say, hey, I heard when you were like this and now you're like this. So awesome. So I want to make sure that, I actually have a journey to take you on and not just read off a page every episode and that be it. That said, let's actually have an episode. And today's topic I wanted to talk about was momentum and taking action. One of the hardest things to do is to make that first step in whatever it is you're doing. It's, if you're dieting, the first meal that you change up what you're ordering, the first snack that you don't eat, things like that. Or it's the first push-up that you do for exercising. If it's for a business, it's the first idea that you actually start to formulate and put on paper and take a step towards. If it's starting a podcast, it's actually creating that first episode, and then it's a bunch of baby steps. It's figuring out the idea, actually recording it, finding how you want to put it out there, and then actually publishing it. And then what I think is probably the hardest one is to do it again and again and again. And for right now, I'm on that second again. I'm taking the motivation that I have from doing something once and putting it out there to doing it again. And I want to put that out there that, that's how habits form. That's how things get accomplished. Not in one big, action-filled, day or whatever. No, it's little things, time after time after time. It's the consistency of that. And, one of my biggest places that I'm on is Instagram. And if you haven't followed yet, You Are Your Focus, or Instagram, .com/You Are Your Focus, or search You Are Your Focus. Let me go back to my early posts. Let's see. Actually, relevant ones that aren't just showing the logo. One of the first posts I ever put out there that actually got a good bit of traction was one with a deer. Um, and I write the words, and I find a picture or whatever that makes sense for it. And I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to say, and and all of like the royalty free image things. It's like, well, I'll put in quizzical, and well, what am I going to come back with? And there was one with a deer given one of those just perplexing looks. And this was posted actually back on April 11th, so I mean it's pretty easy if you look through my feed and see the one with the deer. And it says this: not every step forward requires you to know exactly what you're doing. Each step of the way doesn't mean that you know exactly what it is to do. You know you need to get from A to B. You don't need to know each intricate detail of the road, the pavement, the sidewalk, whatever. You just got to make that step. So, do I know the best way to, make a podcast? No. But do I know how to get my voice recorded and published? Yes. Do I know that, you know, it's a great habit forming to be consistent? Yes. Do I know what I'm actually going to say, what my next sentence is? No. But am I going to say something else? Yes. Am I going to record my voice and publish it? Yes. Am I going to have 2 episodes out there now? Yes. And now I can say that. I can say, hey, I've been, posting for 2 days now. And just those little things that I hope can show you that, if you wanted to start whatever, if you wanted to start something, just do it. Just take that first little step. If you need to pay off your debts, if you need to do anything of that sort, the first change you make is a step in the direction to make the bigger change. And if you don't do that little change, you're never going to be 5, 10, 100 steps down the road closer to your goal. You're going to still be back, not starting, in the same place you were. So even if it's small, even if it's baby steps, you can at least look back and see the road that you have traveled already. And understand that you weren't there. You were back, feet, yards, whatever. You were back for a while, and now you're this much further forward. And let me be that litmus for you. I'm saying things like and so, and not doing the proper breaths between words, and probably mumbling some, but there's something to listen to. So I hope this helps your drive, your workday, your I'm just bored to throw something on your ears. I hope that what you're hearing now, you know, guess entertains, but more importantly, conveys the message that anything that you would like to do doesn't just magically happen. Is there magic in the world? We'll talk about that. But the first thing that needs to happen is you taking that step. And how that relates to your focus, well, it's you being the one to take that step. You being the one that take that action. I will definitely talk on other topics going forward about figuring out what it is that you want to take a step towards. But at this point, if you just have because what you should do is get really focused and specific on your goals. But that's not entirely necessary to start. To start is to just take that first step. Do the first push up. pay off that first bill or don't buy that first item. Uh, you know, Google how to, how to start, how to do, how to whatever. Just the act of doing that will get you on your way to achieving what it is you're setting out to do. But what you don't want to do, there's studies that show, if you do something and say you figure out how to, in this case, say start a podcast, and you read up and you find all the different ways to do it. You find out all the different sites to where you can publish it to, and all this fun stuff. What mics to use, what um, editing software. Then, while you initially took a step towards your goal, you got caught up in the particulars, and at the end of the day, you're still sitting at square one. So, what I want you to do is, yes, take that first step, look something up, or make that first change, but do like I'm doing today, and find momentum from that so you can make that next step. All right. Well, we'll talk more about other things. I want to say what we'll probably do is look through what I had posted on Instagram so far. So if you want to get a head start on what we'll talk about, look there. And we can, I can go into more depth about what I had posted and, how we can focus on ourselves to make the best use of our time, our life, and be a better presence for those around us and hit those goals that we most desperately are trying to reach. Thanks again for another one, and I'll see you in the next one. I truly thank you for listening to another episode of the You Are Your Focus podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, rate, and review, and please reach out to me at contact@youareyourfocus.com with any tips, critiques, suggestions, and questions, and they just might make it into an episode. Thanks again, and as always, any links will be included in the show notes. I appreciate the time we spent together, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.